Hello, Lou.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was just getting on soon enough so I can make all the regular adjustments to make me pretty like your background.
Oh, thank you. That's my husband's photo.
Excellent.
Hi, Noel.
Hello. Hi. All right. Looks like the technology's working today. Yay.
Yes, yes. And we'll wait for WhatsApp members to show up.
No problem at all. Thanks for all your help getting everything set up, Maria. I know it was a lot going on, so really appreciate all your help.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Noel, while we wait, I was talking to Michael Taku. It seems like your schedule, he couldn't fit you in the October 24th agenda with a
Okay.
PRS. So we're looking right now at November 14, but he's gonna ask the PRS this week if by any chance they would like to or could arrange for a special meeting
Cool.
um, sometime before November 14th.
Oh, that'd be helpful if they're willing to do so. That'd be really appreciated.
Yeah, it's just we have so much stuff, and then the holidays on top of it, right? So
I know every timeline I have, I've learned over the years, I take Thanksgiving and Christmas and I basically say there's about a working week in there. That's about it.
yeah, that's it.
It's tough. All right, well, I'm gonna go grab a soda. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Noah. Hello, Sarah.
Hi there.
Sarah, are you one of the neighbors interested on hearing this meeting?
I'm on the board.
Oh, you're on the board. I'm so sorry. I'm not used to names yet for the WUSA, so my apologies.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Hello, Richard.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, Sarah. Good to hear you. And Lou, good to see you.
Howdy,
And
hey.
always good to meet you.
He's off getting a soda.
Okay. I think we're expecting
I have returned with my Diet Coke.
Oh, Diet Coke. Okay. Hey, Noel.
Hey, how you doing?
I think we're expecting Greg and Jim and Damon. So we're still a few minutes out. No problem. While we're waiting for the meeting to convene, Maria, um, so there's one item on the agenda that's a kind of continuation from last time's meeting on the design guidelines. I've reached out to Michael and he hasn't, I'm sure he's busy, been able to respond, but really the ball is in the city's court. So there's not really anything to discuss tonight until we hear from Michael. So if you can, and I'll put in the minutes, just remind him that he and I probably need to converge.
Okay. So I'll talk to Michael. Richard, apologies, he hasn't gotten back to you. It's just been a little bit
Yeah, don't worry.
crazy.
I
But
understand.
yeah. So I gonna send you an email and him asking for your best times to meet
What
with
are you
him
supposed to?
so I can arrange for that meeting with
Sure.
Michael.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can be a quick phone call. It's just the next step for the design guidelines is getting it moved. The city needs to get it on the agenda for the plans review subcommittee.
Yeah,
And
I'll talk to him and I'll ask him what date that might be. And then I'll ask him to reply to both of us.
yeah, that sounds great. Are we already recording, Maria?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but the meeting hasn't started yet.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looks like Jim is connecting. Hey, Jeff, can you hear me okay?
Yep, sorry. You got to hit
Yep.
the okay, I can be recorded button before you get totally
Oh.
let in. Thank you.
Right, okay. All right, we're just waiting on 2 more folk and we're still a little early.
All right. Stand by. I got to run a quick errand. So.
We got Greg joining. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. It is 6 o'clock straight up. I believe Damon's going to join us, but we do have a quorum, so we can go ahead and convene. So we'll start off with this is the West University Historic Zone Advisory Board meeting for October the 15th. It is 6 p.m. Do a quick roll call. Lou Spicknagel.
Present.
Jim Glock.
Present.
Sarah Fajardo.
Present.
Greg Stoner.
Present.
All right. We're still waiting on one other, but we'll go ahead and proceed. We have a quorum. Oh, Rachel Sarah is just joining us. Let me give 1 second for Rachel. Rachel Sarah, present. Hey, Rachel, we're just doing roll call. You want to say present?
Oh, hi, here.
Okay, cool.
Just turning up my speakers.
Yeah, no worries. All
I saw
right.
your mouth moving and then nothing was coming out. So I was like, uh-oh, something's wrong.
Okay, good. So we have a quorum. Let us proceed to item number 2 on the agenda, which is the approval of the legal action report from our last meeting. I hope everyone's had a chance to take a quick look at it. So let me just do a simple roll call vote on approval of the minutes of, I'm sorry, the LAR from our last meeting from September 17th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Jim Glock moves to approve.
Thank you, Jim. Do I have a second?
Lou Spetnagel, seconds.
Lou, second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Jim, approved. Rachel, approved.
Aye, sorry.
Nope, no worries. And Sarah, oh, you're on mute, Sarah.
Aye.
Aye, okay, unanimous approval. Perfect. All right, moving on to item number 3 on the agenda, which is the call to audience. Maria, is there any call to audience?
No, Mr. Chair, we did not receive any requests.
No call to audience. Okay, thank you. Okay. That brings us to the meat of the meeting. Reviews, item number 4, 4A. Oh, Damon just joined us. I'm going to recognize that at 6:03. Let Damon connect to audio. Let's get a second. All right, Damon, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So we've just done a roll call. I've added you to the roll call list, and we've approved the LAR from last meeting. There's no call to the audience, and we were about to proceed to item 4A, 911 North 6th Avenue, SD 0924000095. Who is presenting for this property?
I am. My name is Bob Lanning, and my colleague is Stephen Kirky. So it's really the two of us that are presenting the project.
Okay.
Should we share our screen?
Yes. Can you do that? Maria,
let me see if I need permission or anything. I don't think I do. Okay. Let me see. Can you guys see the screen?
I can.
Great. There we go. Okay, so this is our development zone. You can see that our site is here. Oh, sorry. This map shows which structures in our development zone are contributing. The principal structure, the main house on our property is contributing. The structure that we are remodeling is a detached carport in the back. And as you can see on this map, that structure doesn't even show up on this map, but
it's there.
It's there, and it's it's older.
It's an older classic one-car garage on the back side of a property that they have a lot of around the neighborhood.
These are some structures in our development zone. Scroll through these. This is our property here. This is, top left is the front house. And then down here, you can see kind of looking down the alley. And then this at the bottom right is the structure. So, it's a long one-car carport here.
And that's taken right from the alley.
And then these are more views of the structure from the backyard. And this is a zoomed up aerial. So this is the structure right here. And it's a gable structure. And these are our plans. So let me see if I can zoom out here. So the program for the project is our clients, they park in this carport and they have like a teardrop trailer that they like to store in this garage. So part of the structure is going to remain a garage for their trailer.
Wait, Francis, what are you wearing?
Say that again?
Oh,
I think someone needs to go on mute.
Okay. So part of the structure will remain a garage for their trailer. The back half of the garage is going to be turned into like a guest sleeping quarters. And the addition that we're doing onto the structure is a bathroom and a closet and a small storage room. So yeah, you can see that, the structure's in the back of the property. And the addition is pretty much, it's in their backyard here. And then we'll go to the existing and proposed elevations. This is the existing north elevation from the alley. There is a fence that we have just dotted in so that you can clearly see the proposed elevation. This is the addition, and there's an awning on this side, on the side of it. Let's get all the different angles here. This is the south elevation. And then this is the view from the, in the backyard. And, we are proposing that the structure be stuccoed, but we're doing a brick cap to kind of be a nod to the brick structure. And the reason we did a parapet is because of the heights. If we had done a shed roof off of this structure, it would have had to been a white built-up roof. And even with a white built-up roof, the wall here would have been very, just very low. Yeah, it would have been, even with this design, I mean, the ceilings are not very tall because we did want our addition to be kind of subservient to the existing structure. Yeah, is there anything you want to add, Bob?
Not to the elevations, I guess, to the plan maybe, but.
Yeah.
So there you can see the existing floor plan on the left and then the proposed floor plan on the right. And
yeah, we're going to try to match kind of the windows, and, we're going to do a brick sill to kind of pick up again on the brick structure. This awning will have painted wood to kind of match the painted fascia on the existing structure. But yeah, it's a pretty small project, but we look forward to your feedback.
Okay. So the door on the proposed east elevation is a steel door with a glass light that's basically the size that's framed by the door. Right.
Correct. That one, yeah.
Well, it's steel-clad wood French door. So, okay, got it. So it's a wood door with steel cladding.
Yeah, just for longevity. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and the window in that east elevation, the small window is what kind of construction is that?
Yeah, let's see. Window number 3 is a single casement with a divided light. So it'll swing open.
Like the door, is it a clad wood?
We did not specify that. But I would assume so, yeah. But we're happy to make yeah, we're happy to make it that if that's what you guys recommend. Yeah.
That's the easiest thing for our guidelines.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions or comments from board members?
What's the material on the downspout and rain leader?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I imagine it's going to be
Steel, but we haven't really, I would think steel,
yeah.
but we haven't called out a color on it.
So I have a question for my other board members. Can we see let's see, what would it be called? A north elevation on the alley?
Yes.
That's what I see when I walk my dog. So
That's it. This is it right here.
Is that not changing? That's what we see today, correct?
Yes, right here.
Okay.
The only change is back here.
Okay.
Beyond the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, me and my dog, when my dog was alive, loved walking down that alley. She liked the ambiance. Well, I don't know. It's not appropriate for me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know, the fencing that you have goes clear out to 6th Avenue, and well, I really appreciate you getting rid of the bamboo fencing that you had there. But I'm curious why you left it at 6 feet from the property line, at least back to the base of the house. And this is probably not appropriate for me to ask about this. So actually, let me not ask about it. And, you and I can talk about it offline. I'm going to get a new dog. I'll be walking around. We can. I really appreciate you opening it up to be able to see your house. It's so nice to not have that the whole front of your house blocked off. So I appreciate you handling all that. I think everything that you're proposing is certainly appropriate, and I don't know if other board members feel the requirement to have brick used if you were planning to putting in new brick versus stucco. I'm happy with the stucco myself, so that I'll leave it to the rest of the board to offer their 2 bits. But it looks great to me, and I don't think you need. I think you've satisfied all our needs, and your architect, Bob Lanning, whom I've worked with kind of 1 or 2 ways away from on other projects, certainly knows his stuff, and I think he's guided you in the right direction. So thank you.
Nice, yeah. It's that you're actually talking. We're not the owners. This is Bob Lanning. So yeah.
This is Bob and Steven.
Yeah, Bob's here.
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh, okay, yeah. I work with Bob. I'm not the owner, but
no. Oh, that's okay. It's
all right.
I didn't. I'm sorry I made you assume that I thought you were, but anyway, good. It looks great. Thank you. From my perspective, I'll leave it to the board to offer their opinion.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we know where Jim is. Other comments from the board?
I concur with Jim. It looks good. So it looks to be a very good addition, and I appreciate the attention to the detail.
Shall we make a motion?
Do we just want to make sure we get the window material and downspout material called out?
I think we should, yes. I was going to suggest. So the one thing, Bob, that generally we like to see on these drawings is the call out of the material, because there are material requirements in our guidelines. So having it be not stated makes it harder to approve it.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
Yep. Yeah.
Color isn't an issue, just the actual materiality is.
Yeah. So wood clad with metal, perfectly okay. Steel for the downspouts, perfectly okay. It's just not called out. So if you would do that, that would be great.
Yeah.
So back to Damon. Yes, I think we can make a motion.
All right, this is Damon. I'll make a motion. I motion to approve as presented, with the exception that all of the windows be called out as wood material with cladding in the drawing, and that the downspout material be called out as steel.
It's Rachel, Sarah, I second.
Rachel, I'm catching up with
Oh,
the
sorry.
motion. No, it's okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay, cool. And then Rachel seconds. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Jim Block, aye.
Aye.
All right. We have unanimous approval. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Straightforward, easy. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
No.
Bye. Bye.
All right, goodbye. Okay. Easy peasy. Okay, that brings us to item 4B on the agenda. 812 East Speedway, SD 0624-00061, Capstone new apartments. So this is the full review, Noel?
That's right, Mr. Chairman.
All right, over to you.
All right, well, thank you. Let me see if this is going to be cooperative. I'm trying to do it with my pesky PowerPoint software here.
And Mr. Chair, while Noel looks for the his presentation,
Yeah.
Mr. Clock, I just received your email that you were having access, trouble accessing the design package. We were working with Noel to compress that file and make it more manageable. And we updated the WooSap's webpage with a more compressed file. I believe you should be able to open it now if you were having trouble before. If you just go to the WooSap's webpage.
Alrighty. Well, I've got a little presentation here, kind of walks over sort of the substantive parts of the package. And then obviously we have that as well if we need to get into it. And again, thank you all for your time. And again, just for the record, Noel Grimsman, Senior Urban Planner at Salem Wilmer, 1 East, Washington Street in Phoenix. And as mentioned, this is 812 East Speedway, the new build portion of the Capstone Euclid and Speedway project. And to kind of get into it, obviously, I think everyone knows where the site is, but just a refresher, southeast corner of Euclid and Speedway. As of now, I believe the 5 of the homes have been relocated per the prior processes that we undertook with y'all over the last year or so. And the 2 retained homes at the corner, we're putting together the rehab plans for those. We'll be back before you again with those for the updates on those. So this is really about the new construction itself and the main gate review. We heard a few things when we initially did our initial conversation in your packet. You'll find some kind of a little bit of commentary from the design team, which again I'm happy to get into in more detail. They're here as well. But essentially, what we're doing with the concept is trying to kind of balance the new and the old, which is a little challenging with a building of this scale. But I think they've done a pretty nice job. And we've introduced some items. For example, on our lower level, I'm bringing that tufa stone around to our retaining wall element to kind of as a nod to the tufa in the neighborhood, as well as looking at keeping the we'll call the white portion of the building, trying to reiterate kind of that more traditional white stucco structures that you see throughout town as well. And then the newer build, kind of that terracotta, trying to be a little bit different and more kind of being on the horizon so to speak. So those kind of some of the ideas that our design team have been working on, and some changes that we've done since we came through earlier. Again, kind of going from the left to the right here, adding some modifying those planter walls, make them a little bit more seating sized and level, as well as again introducing tufa stone to those, and using a pattern composite panel to again add some more visual interest to that pedestrian level. Looking at the larger elevation in the middle, modifying that window pattern again on the white element, which is again kind of trying to be more classic, to a more uniform design, and to tie in a little bit more of the historic pattern versus a little more modern pattern in the original attempt. We've also integrated down lighting in the planter walls, so that there's sufficient lighting, but trying to keep that lighting low and at the pedestrian scale. And then in the final corner there, we've worked around the landscaping to create again a softer edge along Euclid. I'll show you some details of that, and simplifying again the window pattern in the building behind, to again make it a little less distracting, and to try to be a little subtle between the two as we try to make that transition as smooth as we can. This really just kind of a composite here of kind of where we're at, but just some of the data. Won't bore you to death with it, but basically we're at 193 units and 525 total beds. And we have 147 parking spaces. So as the projects evolve, we've managed to add some additional parking with a below grade level, as well as finally getting our unit count where we think it's functional. And we obviously have the 30 workforce units still along our perimeter. This again is each kind of floor, so I'll just flip through these real quick. This is the new basement level, which added some additional parking. The ground level, as we discussed before, but the kind of the business side of the development, the lobby and resident amenities facing Speedway, and then the workforce units wrapping along the Euclid frontage. This is going up to the upper level, so this gets you up on level 4, where where you start to, or it's level 3, where you start to see the pool deck, which is on top of the garage and kind of in the donut, so to speak. And the building again kind of rises up from there, and there's the step back that's at the 5th floor, and then the roof deck and the little sun deck feature up there. And then the elevations, which again reflect some of the things we talked about, and I'll show a little bit of detail as we get through these here into the areas kind of around these two guys, 1030 Euclid and 1042 or 1024. So
request from this elevation.
So what we have in the detailing was looking at, again, providing some more information kind of on the treatment. So what you have in your package, there's essentially kind of an on-off version. So the lower left basically reflects sort of the on with the homes in place, and then if you were to take the houses out, you can see what's beyond them, and that kind of shows you the relationship. And you'll notice the building massing there, again, attempting to be kind of, as you look between the houses, a different materiality there with the CMU before it switches to stucco above, and then the treatment that's on the right side of the drawing here shows you that south face. So again, the on-off, so you can see what those would look like. And we can go through those a little bit more. We have the material exhibit. Again, we can go through different materials, but a lot of stone, pattern stone, and materials, which again I think will add will complement what's going on adjacent to us. And then from the landscaping perspective, and it's particularly around that corner, again, this is the conceptual landscape plan. And one of the things that's interesting about the homes is the way that the landscaping kind of transitions as you go in front of kind of the modern component in the townhouse treatment. That's going to be more of a kind of an urban streetscape kind of a design. And then when you get to the homes, it wants to feel a little bit more like yards. And so there's some rainwater harvesting going on there, as well as some native landscaping. And there's some additional trees in the plan that don't show up in the render, but this gives you an idea kind of the intent there. And then behind and between the buildings, obviously we have the access pathways we need, and some usable outdoor space on that south unit as well. And then this all turns into, again, the updated renderings, which again, this would be the corner of Speedway and Euclid. And we have some nighttime renders as well. Again, kind of illustrating that lower lighting, that pedestrian scale lighting, trying to de-emphasize and pedestrianize the space around us while keeping security and safety in mind, but without tons and tons of excessive lighting. This is where you start getting a little closer into the Speedway treatment and that kind of more, the more business side, so to speak. And this is the alleyway side off of Speedway, where our drop off pickup all occurs, as well as the alley itself, which is our primary garage access. And then as you turn the corner and look down Euclid, or look across from Euclid, again, you can see the carry through and the materiality and how it's a little hard to see in the render, but the tufa stone treatment along that edge there. And then again, how that window pattern on the white element standardizes, and I think is a nice reflection. I think Jason and his team were able to pull off very nicely. And then this gives you a little bit of a closer view. And again, you can kind of see how the brick elements and the materiality here start to create that differentiation, and these being lower now, more functional. So you still get that separation as you go up to your unit, but you also have some seatability there and some functionality. Again, this would be at night. Again, emphasis on pedestrian level lighting. And then as we get towards the homes, looking at the southern corner of the site, again with the idea being that landscaping wants to feel a little bit more residential. So you see again between the rainwater harvesting and the landscaping package, it starts to soften up and look a little more residential. This would be straight on. And this is where you can kind of see, again, that idea of the CMU kind of lower level of the building before it transitions to kind of differentiate it above the homes that are there. And then that south wall, which is a CMU treatment, and then there's the pathway in there. So some introducing kind of offsetting the trees and trying to soften up that perspective. So whether you're walking up, as we're walking up, you'll see trees softening up that mass there. And then this is just all the main gate stuff. If you want to talk about, we have it in there as well. And that is kind of the end of my presentation part. And then be happy to answer your questions. We also have the design team here, and we have the full package as well to take particular pages you wanted to review.
Okay. Let's open up the discussion from the board. What are your thoughts, impressions?
This is Sarah. It's exactly what we asked for. It looks good.
Yeah, I definitely like the material choices. And I like that it's not so busy like the building that it will be hiding.
You guys, you did your homework. You really, I think, took extra pains to listen to us, and I think this reflects it in a way that we rarely get to see. So, in my personal opinion, kind of hats off to you guys. I'm sure if we have issues, you'd accommodate them, but I'm not the design expert on the board. I'm kind of the process and historic guy person, and I just think you've pulled something off that is worthy of your work. So thank you.
Last time we met, we had some concerns about the way the building overpowered the bungalows that are going to stay in place. All of you on the board, are we good with the approach that's being taken? It sounds like yes, but I just want to give everybody an opportunity to start opinions.
Is there a image that shows the relationship of the larger building in relation to the smaller?
Yeah, they had an earlier one of the renderings.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. There's two. That one.
This one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that one is an example. Yeah.
Well,
I think the landscaping helps a lot. You can't get around the fact that there's, 100-year-old bungalows with a large building behind them. But this looks better than the last time you presented, which is good.
And with your permission, Mr. Chair, go. One thing I would note, I did notice when I was doing the photos. Let me go back here real quick. Was the kind of the context that they're sitting in today. Just because of the scale of the stuff behind them, even though they're further back, they're kind of, that context is kind of already there. I hope that our attempt to soften up what's behind them is a little better than the current backdrop.
I think the landscaping does a lot to help that. The fact that the existing context is further behind is, helpful. It's more striking when the building is it's right there. Yeah. But given what you're doing, and I do appreciate too that the building that's right behind him is darker in shade, right? So it's not as if it were stark white or something like that, it'd be a little bit more overpowering. So I'm fine.
Yeah, I think that the stepping that you've done relates to the building really well without it trying to be like a pyramid, kind of just straight stepping back. And I think I really appreciate that, because you can still appreciate the bungalows without them, I don't know, looking completely out of context. And I agree with what Rick was saying, that I think the landscaping helps ties it all together. So.
Yeah, when you're walking along the sidewalk, you don't have that sense of this looming beast. So yeah.
And hopefully it will sort of activate this corner, which is a little bit dead pedestrian wise. I feel like might make it a more welcoming point.
Okay. All right, any other discussion or comment from the board? Here, can I have a motion?
I'd be honored to make the motion to approve as presented. This is Jim Glock. It was a lot of work on everyone's part to get here, and I think their respectfulness of the neighborhood has been should be appreciated. So thank you, Capstone, and the team for working on this. So not to get too schmaltzy, but.
Okay. I have a motion. Can I have a second?
This is Damon, I second.
Okay, motion, second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye, Jim Glock.
Aye.
Rachel, aye.
Sarah, aye.
Sarah, okay, thank you. All right, we have unanimous approval. Thank you so much, Noel, and the whole Capstone team.
Again, thank you all for your time and guidance and your clear direction. Made it very helpful for the design team to get this done. So again, appreciate all your help, and we'll be back on those two little bungalows too. So we'll see you guys again soon.
Thank you very much. You have a good night.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Okay. Better kind of sign off. Next item on the agenda was meeting date and time. I apologize, by the way, for the email I sent out, confusing Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's starting to get old. So I think I've heard back from everyone. Well, Greg, I didn't hear back from you or nor Lou, but since you're here.
Yeah, I have no conflicts. No conflicts. Any evening of the week is fine for me.
And Lou, are you kind of in the same boat?
I responded back saying as it sits in the 4th are better for me, but none of them are undoable.
Okay. And I think, Jim, you had a conflict with the 4th. Is that right? Jim, you're muted.
The 4th Tuesday is my warehouse arts management organization board meeting at 5:30. But being the president of that particular board, guess what? I can move that meeting. So
since we have some other options, I mean, Maria threw out 3 options, and it sounds like 2 of the 3 are okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm available for any of them. Just based on what makes me miss meetings though is family events. And so earlier in the month is better for me. So first, or so I just tend to have a lot of birthdays in the 2nd and 3rd week, or 3rd and 4th weeks of the month. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, to that, I mean, we're trying to get away from the 3rd.
And the 4th.
Do the 4th, so it's the 1st or the 2nd.
Yeah, so that works for me.
Okay. And Damon, you're okay? I think you said yes. Yeah. All right. So there you go, Maria. 1st or 2nd.
It's up to the board, Mr. Chair. But either day, it would be very, very helpful.
Okay, well, happy to help. I understand you guys are, going through some changes there. So,
is this a permanent move or is this a temporary move?
Well, why don't we just say it's a permanent move? Because there's been a permanent conflict with Armory Park ever since we've existed. And it's probably better to deconflict because it gives the city some options in terms of who can cover.
No, understood. It's just we're modifying on their behalf. I want to make sure it stays permanent.
Yeah, and we're modifying. So Maria, let's just record it that way, that we're agreeing that here forward, not just until the someone's replacing Jody. Let's just keep it on for our sake, for our planning's sake, the boards, that we stick to a permanent change. And I'm happy if you guys want to just decide right this minute. And I thought Michael was on, but I see he's gone now. If you want to
he ran to the Armory Park meeting.
Which, yeah, Armory Park starts at 6:30. I think most of us know that, maybe not all of us. So he blinked on and then blinked off. So I'll
let's just do the first one. Let's just do the first Tuesday. Let's just do it and go for it.
Damon just aired on and said voting the 2nd. So
okay, then the 2nd. Let's do it.
Everybody's okay with the 2nd.
Let's just pick one and move forward.
Yeah, why don't we say the 2nd and just be done with it? All right, Maria?
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So I think we need a motion and we need a second, Mr. Chair.
Yikes. Okay. I also move that we request that the city attempt to move our meeting date to the 2nd Tuesday of the month to accommodate Armory Park.
Armory Park goes this all of here.
Irony and cynicism supposed to be somehow written into that. So anyway, like.
All right, we have a motion. Second. Is that Rachel who's second?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. All in favor? Aye.
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 Unanimous. Perfect. Item 6. I think we already, mentioned this at the beginning, Maria. Michael needs to get with me, and we need to figure out how to get the design guides in front of the plans review subcommittee. This is for now until we hear feedback from them. So you and I, Michael, or Michael and I just need to talk. And I know he's busy, but and I know he's probably seen my emails asking for a meeting, but I need a meeting. Okay.
A question again, just kind of a sidebar. The position for her historic preservation officer, is it open do people need to just apply for a certain level of planning position to be able to get considered?
Can I point of order?
How's that? Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
I'm going to close out item 6 on the agenda.
Oh, sorry, Rick. My bad.
Thank you. Now we're on item 7, which would be staff updates. So over to you, Jim, to ask the question about staff updates.
Right. Thank you. So I know some great candidates for the position of Historic Preservation Officer, and they know me that I sit on this position and have been asking why they haven't seen it advertised yet. And I speculate that it may very well be advertised, but not specifically as a Historic Preservation Officer, but whatever planning classification of historic preservation might be. If you could provide any information, Maria, to us board members at some future date, that would be fine. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Block, Mr. Chair, members of the WUSAP, the position has not been advertised yet. I believe staff has been working diligently to draft the new description. And I believe that's gonna be, I think, again, not until I see the position open myself, I believe it'll be like before a principal planner level position, but it will clearly state it will be for the Historic Preservation Officer position.
Okay. Okay. And if you may not know the answer to this, Maria, do you think that's going to be in the next month or next 2 months, or?
I know we're working hard to post it as soon as possible. I would hope that definitely within the next 4 weeks or so, hopefully.
Well, we're not going to commit to that, just curiosity. Okay. Any other staff updates, Maria?
No, Mr. Chair, that's all we have.
Item 8, future agenda items. Maria, do you see anything coming down the line, including minor reviews?
I know we have several cases, Mr. Chair, and I apologize, I don't have a list with me. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna request the WUSAP meeting for the November date, which is now the second Tuesday of November, which will be, let's see, looks like it's November 12th.
So you're sure we're going to have something on the agenda for November 12th for everybody's benefit? Yeah, Jim, go ahead.
So my only question would be whether or not the other members of the board would be interested to see whether or not someone from the city attorney's office who is astute on zoning related issues could come to talk about us with respect to the historic review and zoning influence on the TEP polls, and whether that's appropriate for our committee to perhaps get briefed on in advance of all the other stuff that's going on. But I think we deserve, as a standing committee, whom have been often mentioned in a lot of the drama associated with the TEP polls that are now slated to go along Euclid, to understand whether we do have a role or not, and so we can anticipate our responsibilities and bone up on our understanding of how we need to review it.
So, Mr. Glock, Mr. Chair, members of the WUSAP. So if I understand Mr. Glock's request, your request would be to have somebody from the city attorney's office attend the next WUSAP meeting to talk about the WUSAP's purview for whenever we receive that application for the Tucson Electric Power's proposed power lines.
Yes, exactly. And if November is too soon, that's understandable. But I just kind of want to bring it to the city's notice that that's an interest at least of one member of the WUZAP board, and some clarity on the part of the city, in particular the city attorney's office, of our standing with respect to that would be greatly appreciated.
Maria, regardless of exactly what it's going to look like, what TEP is proposing would go through, would have poles, power poles that are in the historic zone. So I'll capture a little bit more of that, I think, when I write up the LAR for tonight's meeting, to help you with your discussion with the city attorney's office. Jim brings up a good point. It may well be that the wills of the ACC mean that we don't get a voice, which is fine. If that's the truth, we should know that. It may well be that we get to, like we would review someone putting a flagpole in their front yard. Has some saying it, but I don't actually agree with Jim. I don't know what we would say, and just be good to know. And it doesn't have to be at our next meeting, because nothing's between now and our next meeting, but at their convenience. And if they're interested in speaking with us, I'd like to hear that as well.
Okay. I will convey the message, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Thank you. I'll capture that in the LAR. Okay. Any other future agenda items, topics you want to bring up, Maria?
No, that's pretty much it, Mr. Chair.
All right. I mean, I will, since we're on that topic, remind everybody that at some point we will get our design guidelines update in front of the plans review subcommittee, get their comments back, and then if we get comments, then we'll have to act on those. But right now, the city just needs to get everything in front of the other committee.
Are there availabilities on the plans review subcommittee, or is that just a committee that's put together?
The plans review subcommittee meets, thank you, Lou, every 2 weeks, I believe. There's two issues, there's two things, and one is just getting on the agenda, which is up to the Historic Preservation Office to introduce it to the agenda at one of their future meetings. There's always opportunity to do that. And the second is having some dialogue with the PRC on what material we need to provide, or what presentation we need to provide, or what do they need to see. As I think most of you know, the marked up document exists in Google Docs. It's not easy to print out or create in a PDF.
There's a lot of formatting that needs to happen, but we don't want to waste time formatting if we have to change a lot of the verbiage.
Right. So there just needs to be, I think probably there needs to be a discussion, not just with me and Michael, but also with, someone on the PRC over what do you guys want to see and how do you want to see it. The easiest thing, if they want to look at all the comments in the form that we've been looking at it, is to have a meeting where they, get access to a, share drive and look at it that way. There's no other easy way to present it, but it's a dialogue that needs to happen. It's really less about when and more about how and what, I think.
Okay. If it happens every 2 weeks and we don't have the person who can chair it forward with the absence of the position, it would seem to me that until that position's full, this is not going to move forward.
No, that's not true. Michael can, well, likely as not, it would be one of us, me, that would be presenting to the PRC. And Michael attends when Jody's not around, when Jody hasn't been around. Michael's always been representing the city. That's not really an issue. We just need to get an agreement on what do you guys want to see and how do you want to see it.
Okay. I misunderstood. I thought we kind of had the language. The rest of it is formatting. And if the group, do they need to see the final product before they can review it?
Well, my guess would be that what they would want to see is like a before and after. But again, I think we just need to have a simple discussion with them. I really don't think it's hard. I just think there needs to be a dialogue between us, me, and whoever to us and the city, Michael, and let's just agree to that and then go do it.
I guess I'm just advocating for the group. I didn't have a lot of dog in the fight in building it.
No,
I do know how hard it was to get it built. Now getting it across the finish line is rather important for some.
Oh, it's very important. And by the way, the PRC isn't even the finish line. It's just sort of
I know.
It just complicates things because Jody had a plan in mind on how to go do it, and we got to kind of
understood.
And Mr. Chair, members of the WUSA, now that I hear you speaking, and again, I'm not familiar with all the work you already done with your revised design guidelines. If I may suggest, Mr. Chair, if I can arrange for a meeting with you, our planning administrator, and Michael Kaku, so we can please go over what you have prepared, and also, again, about the dynamics of moving forward with the PRN.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Not a problem. That's kind of what I've been asking for. I had been having direct dialogue with Jody on how to go forward with that, and unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that all went. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping she briefed. That's Dan Bursek, our planning administrator, so I'm gonna assume he's up to date on the conversations that took place with Jody. But if not, we'll figure it out either way. So if you could please just email me what days and times work best for you next week and the following week. So within the next 2 weeks, so I can arrange for that meeting. I can look at staff schedules and then arrange for that meeting.
Okay. I'm just an unemployed retired guy. I got a lot of free time, so it's not a problem.
Okay.
And just to remind the board, is that the Western University Neighborhood Association, that is not WUSAM, does have a budget to pay for spinning this particular document into something that's very consumable and very easy for people to use.
Right.
And so I think we have a few people who have shown some interest in that. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But I think it's appropriate to show the document that we have currently in place that does show the additions and deletions and whatnot. And Rick, I'm happy to join you with that meeting, but it's if you don't need me, if you don't want me to attend, I don't take any offense. So.
Oh no, I'm writing your name down right now.
So, Mr. Chair, so do you have a redlined document where you show the red lines of the existing design guidelines?
So Maria, I'm not entirely sure how familiar you are with kinds of online document editing tools. We do have a redline version, but it's only consumable if you log into the share drive that we have, and then you can see the red lines. I can't print the red line. And that's been part of the question I've been asking. You know what? We can talk about this offline. If you can, I'll give you my availability and Jim's availability, and we can walk we can talk through all that, and people can say, well, this is what I want, or not. And to Jim's point, if we need to put some resources as to, formatting it in some way that's more digestible, we can certainly do that. Right now, we're done, and we're now wanting to get it to the next level, and it's an administrative next step. Content. Okay. All right.
So I'll just wait for those dates that works the best for you guys, and then I'll arrange for that meeting.
Yeah, I'll get something to you in a separate email from the LAR in the next 24 hours. Yes, appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Jim will be part of it. Volunteer. I love that. Okay. That is it on item 8, which brings us to barring any other comments, I believe we are adjourned at 6:56 p.m. Thank everyone. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks
See you
all.
next month.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.